Last year, for the first time, we had Health Policy Hero Awards, and last year we had 2 awards, but this year we're honoring one woman because what she's done is really so extraordinary. DeAngelis is the editor-in-chief of the Journal of the American Medical Association, JAMA, and although she is the first woman editor-in-chief, that is not why we're honoring her today. We're honoring her today because of the extraordinary efforts that she's made to make sure that when medical research is published in her journal, which is the most prestigious medical journal in the country, that the data are actually accurate. Now, that doesn't seem like a big deal. You would think that would go without saying. But what we've found in recent years is that many times people with a vested financial interest in promoting a particular medical product or procedure are writing articles that are not exactly accurate in terms of how effective or how safe that product or procedure is. And so I think that the work that she's doing and the change that she's made already and is continuing to make is going to save millions of lives. And that's why we're honoring her today.
Thank you very much. I am indeed honored. I'm going to tell you, I look at the awardees, and I look at the past awardees, and I feel like an onion in a petunia patch. I still can't figure it out. I'm just doing what I'm supposed to do, but I thank you very much for considering that to be special. Omega, I was one of 7 women in my graduating class in 1969, so I also, in 1985, was the 12th woman professor at Hopkins in the 93-year history. That bothered me. And so, when I went to the dean's office a few years later, as the Vice Dean for Academic Affairs and Dean of the Faculty, I made sure that women were looked at the same way as men, at least professionally. And by the time I left, there were 90. There are now over 150 women professors. We still have a long way to go, but that's okay. As I look around me here, and I look at my sisters in medicine and related fields, and men are not going to dominate Omega. We won't let them. Because there are, I tell my mentees, it's so nice to be called a mentor. I always kid them and say, as long as I'm not your tormentor, it's okay. I always say to them, if you want to be a leader, you have to have 4 things. You have to be tough-minded, not tough, tough-minded. You have to be tenacious. And the hardest thing for women, I think, is you have to have thick skin. You notice I sat by the window, my back to the window there. You know that I feel safe here. Because with the work I do with a pharmaceutical or medical device company, I usually sit with my back against the wall. My Uncle Guido is about 3 feet. So you gotta be tough-minded. You have to be tenacious. You have to have thick skin, but you also have to have a very tender heart. Thank you.
I think that sums it up really well. We're going to have cake now. Let them eat cake. But just before you do,